Hello students, let's read the problem. And it says, Mary needs at least $250 for prom. To collect this amount of money, she sells bracelets for $2 and necklaces for $4 each. Mary can sell at most 100 pieces based on the school's guidelines. If X represents the number of bracelets and Y the number of necklaces, which graph represents the number of bracelets and necklaces that Mary can sell? Okay, so we're talking about two things, right? We're talking about the bracelets and we're also talking about the necklaces, right? So very important that we identify who's going to be X and who's going to be Y. So on the second line, it says, if X represents the bracelets and Y represents the necklaces, right? So I'll also consider how much money is each one of them, right? So it says that the necklaces are going to be how much money? $4, and the bracelets for 2, right? So we're going to have $2 for the bracelets, and the necklaces it's $4, right? And it says that she needs to at least $250 for the prom, right? Okay, so let's start with the number of items that she can sell. So according to the school guidelines, she can sell at most 100 pieces, right? That means that if you add the number of bracelets and the number of necklaces, right? Because that's X and Y, that amount cannot be over 100, right? It can be equals to 100, but not more than that. So that's going to be less than or equals to 100. Now, again, this is the number of items, right? So let's leave Y by itself. So I'm going to take away X on both sides. So Y will be less than or equals to negative X plus 100. That takes care of the number of items. But now what about the earning, right? Because of course money is involved. So it says that Mary needs at least $250 for the prom. Okay, so we do know that when she sells the item, she's gonna charge $2 for the bracelets. So that's gonna be 2X. And $4 for the necklaces. So that's gonna be 4Y. Now that amount, right, it says at least. That means that she can be okay with 250, but it would be better if she gets more than that. Is that right? So we're going to talk about that amount can be greater than or equals to 250. And of course, we're going to solve for Y. And that gives me 4Y greater than or equals to negative 2X plus 250. And of course, we need to divide by 4, right? And we have Y greater than or equals to. Now remember, negative 2 over 4 is the same as, yeah, think about simplifying, right? So that would be the same thing as negative 1/2 X. Very good. And now we have 250. So go ahead and divide 250 divided by 4. See what we get. We get 62.5, right? So we're going to say plus 62.5. So, or 0.50, it's up to you. So now I'm going to graph those two inequalities, right? So let's start with the top one. So the red one says Y is less than or equal, right? Okay, now I am going to need to find the y-intercept at 100, which I know I see it right here, right there. Not letter D. Letter D doesn't have anything in 100, so that cannot be my answer. And letter B does, right? So we're good on that one. And I need to find the slope, which is negative 1 over 1. So I'm going to go what? 1 down, 1 to the right. So this is the same thing as what? Negative 10 over 10, if you want to go by tenths. Is that right? Okay, so we can go 10 down and 10 to the right. Okay, so this is 10 down. Let's look at letter A. 10 down and 10 to the right. So that looks good. right? And then 10 down, 10 to the right, 10 down. So that line looks okay. Is that correct? Okay, let's look at letter B. So we have 10 down, 10 to the right, 10 down, 10 to the right. Now, if you go here, that's 10, and that would be 20. So that looks exactly the same. What about C? 10 down, 10 to the right, because it's going by 5 and 5, right? So once we're here, we go 10 down, 10 to the right, 10 down, 10. So all three are okay as far as the first one goes, right? Okay, so what about if we shade the graphs, right? Let's go ahead and shade them so that we understand which are the sections that they will be shaded with both colors. So let's start with letter A. I'm looking for all the values where y is less than or equals to, and then we have it. So this is what it means. Less than 100 means all of this. That needs to be shaded red. Is that right? So notice how that little section that is on my answer choice A is not even shaded with red. So that makes me believe if A could even be an answer. Is that right? So this is the second one. All of this needs to be shaded. And yes, the shaded section that is double, it is still already part of my graph. Right now, look at letter B. Letter B should have all of this shaded. So if you notice, letter A, according to the answer, it says that the answer should be this one that is here. See that shaded section? But that's not even shaded red for me. So I don't think A can be an answer for me then. Letter C is shaded red right now because it's lower or less than my 100, right? And that is already part of the answer choice that is shaded double, right? And look at letter B. Letter B sees that all of this is shaded. Now that section that is right now shaded with only red, but on the bottom is more, we can wait up because what about if my other graph is less than, right? So that's the only reason that maybe B could be an answer. So right now we're between B and C. So let's check on the second one. Now the second one, both lines look exactly the same, right? They're both at 62.5. They're both negative, so, right? So what about if we look at the inequality sign, which is right here? So that means greater than or equals to. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and shade, and the line that I'm looking at is the one that is at 62.5, right? So right there, this is my 62.5. So I want to find all the numbers that are greater, which means all the ones up here, right? So notice how that section in the middle, it has blue and red, which is this one that is right here. So that could be a good answer, right? So now let's go to letter B. I'm going to shade everything that is above my line. Now notice how that section that is shaded in my answer choice B is the one below that line. And I'm not looking for less than, I'm looking for greater than. So that's how I know that B cannot be the answer, right? So look at letter C. There's a section above that has only blue, and there's a section below that has only red. But the one in the middle is the one that is my actual answer because it's shaded with both blue and red. So therefore, my answer has to be letter C. Very good.